Welcome to the Board Game Network. I'm going to be explaining how to play this game called Abracada what? It plays 2 to 5 players, 7 years and up, and plays in about 30 minutes. You get 5 spell stones per player. These are the spell stones. They're just tiles, and they match the tiles on the board. Here's the setup. You've got 1 1, 2 2s, 3 3s, up to 8 8s in these tiles, and all they are is numbered tiles. You put 4 face down here. These are the secret spell stones. You draw 5 and you stick them in here, so you don't get to see them. So you want to make sure when you pick them up, you face them away from you and stick them in your little plastic cube things here. You get 6 life stones, and they keep track of your life tokens, life total. So all you do on your turn is you say a spell number. You say, I'm going to do a 3 or a 2 or a 5 or whatever, and you've got a little reference card here that tells you what each number does. Like 1 is the ancient dragon. Roll the die. All other players lose life tokens according to the result. And this die is only a 3-sided die. Rolls 1 to 3. So the most you can do damage is 3 life. But that happens to every player. But remember, you've only got 1 of those tiles in all of the stack. And in a 2 and a 3 player game, on a 2 player game you put 12 tiles face up. On a 3 player game you put 6 tiles face up before you start the game. So I've got this set for a 3 player game here. On a 4 and a 5 player game you don't flip any tiles up, so you don't get to see any of them. Number 2 is the Dark Wanderer. All other players lose 1 life. You gain 1 life. Number 3 is the Sweet Dream. Roll a die. You gain life according to the result. Maximum of 1. And on the whenever you play these, if you say I want to play a 2, I'll play a 3, play a 4. If you don't have one of those, you actually lose 1 of your life tokens, except for on the number 1, the dragon. He's dangerous to summon. And you actually roll a dice to see how much life you lose on the number 1. Okay, number 4 is the Night Singer. You may look at 1 of the secret spell stones and place it in front of yourself. So you would, if you had a 4, and whenever somebody else looks to see if you have it, and if you do, they place it out for you, so you don't look at your own. You say, do I have a 4? And they would pull it out and stick it on the board for you, and then you get to take 1 of these and see what it is. So you know something that the other players don't know. Lightning Tempest. The players on your left and right lose 1 life each. Blizzard. The player on your left loses a life. Fireball. The player on the right loses a life. And number 8 is the Magic Drink. Gain 1 life, and you have a maximum of 6 life. Always, no matter which spell you cast. Okay, so you can keep summoning your spells as much as you want. Once you've successfully done 1, you can do another, but the next one has to be greater than or equal to the same number you just cast. So if you cast an 8, then the only thing you can do after that is cast an 8 or pass. Say you're done. So you're constantly having to work your way up. So you want to look to see how many tiles are already out here, because once they get played successfully, they get put up on the board so you can see them. You want to look to see what other people have, because that will tell you if there's any left. If you see 2 2s among the other players, you know not to do a 2 because you know you don't have a 2. So you keep going until you either decide to pass or you do a spell that you don't have, and then that ends your turn and you lose 1 life, remember, unless you did the number 1. If you ever run out of tiles, then you win the game. So if you stop before you run out of tiles, either by not casting correctly or by saying you pass, then you draw back up to 5 and you fill in your plastic cube again, so you always have 5 until you run out of tiles in the middle of the table. So the round end scoring happens like this. You've got your little scoring tokens here. Here's your scoring track. Number 8 is the game's over when somebody gets to 8. So your round end scoring happens if you played all 5 of your tiles. So you completely ran out, you get 3 points. Everybody else gets 0 if that's the case. If someone kills someone else, the round ends. The person who actually killed somebody, he gets 3 points. The person who died running out of life tokens gets 0. All the other survivors get 1 point. So everybody else who still has life tokens, even though they didn't win, they get 1 point each. If a person kills himself, so in other words, he's only got 1 life token and he tries to cast a spell that he doesn't have, so he loses his life token, then every survivor gets 1 point, so that person would not get any. Everybody else would get 1. And then there is a bonus. If you survived and you do have a secret spell stone that you looked at and pulled off to your side because you got to look at it, you get 1 point for each of those stones. So at the end of the round, if somebody hasn't gotten to 8, you just start a new round and you just reset everything. All the tiles come off the board and get flipped over and mixed up. You pull all these out, you mix them up, you draw 5 new ones, you put 4 new secret ones out, and if you're playing the 2 or 3 player game, you flip some tiles up on the board. And again, game's over when you get to 8. So that's how you play this game called Abracada What? Put out by Z-Man Games. Make sure you tune into all of our videos here at the Board Game Network.